Dear students, welcome all of you once again to the paper Language Skills, which is a compulsory paper for BSc Physics and Chemistry, BSc Botany and Zoology, BCom first semester. So in this series of videos, we are watching and listening to various modules and various lessons of the textbook within the language skills. Dear students, in this video, we are going to discuss module 3, unit 4 and lesson 1. Once again, in this video we are going to discuss the module 3 of the textbook language skills, and the unit is number 4 and lesson is number 1. This lesson is dealing with speaking skill. This is exclusively separated for developing speaking skill. So this particular lesson will discuss what are the strategies are required for developing speaking skill. English speaking skill ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് എന്തൊക്കെ തന്ത്രങ്ങൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കാമെന്നാണ് ഈ ചാപ്റ്റർ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. We know that speaking is the second language skills of 4 language skills. Speaking is the second skill. ഒരു ഭാഷയിൽ 4 സ്കില്ലുകളാണുള്ളത്. 4 എണ്ണമുള്ളതിൽ രണ്ടാമത്തെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട സ്കില്ലാണ് സ്പീക്കിംഗ്. So speaking comes after listening. Once a child listens to the language from the environment, it starts to speak. സാധാരണ ഒരു കൊച്ചുകുട്ടി ഒരു ഭാഷ അത് ജനിച്ചു വളർന്ന സാഹചര്യത്തിലുള്ള എൻവയൺമെൻറ്റിലുള്ള ഭാഷ കുറേ മാസങ്ങൾ ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച ശേഷം സംസാരിക്കുവാനായി തുടങ്ങുന്നു. We know that speaking is a very important skill. Speech or speaking is a vital component in any act of communication. It is an active element and often uses verbal and non-verbal skills to make effective and meaningful. So in speaking we use both verbal and non-verbal skills. നമ്മൾ സംസാരത്തിൽ ശബ്ദവും ശബ്ദേതരമായിട്ടുള്ള ശരീരഭാഷകളും ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. That's why it is called verbal and non-verbal skills are used for speaking effectively and meaningfully. So let's now see what are all the strategies required for developing speaking skill. Speaking is the process of producing meaningful symbols of sound for conveying or sharing the message, information, feeling, knowledge, etc. So once again, speaking is the process of producing meaningful symbols of sounds for conveying or sharing message, information, feeling, knowledge, etc. ആശയവിനിമയത്തിനു വേണ്ടി അർത്ഥപൂർവമായിട്ടുള്ള ശബ്ദങ്ങൾ പുറപ്പെടുവിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് മെച്ചപ്പെട്ട കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ, മെച്ചപ്പെട്ട ആശയവിനിമയം നടത്തുന്നതാണ് സ്പീക്കിംഗ് എന്നുള്ളത്. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ പ്രോസസ്. Speaking skill allows a person to convey messages in a thoughtful and convincing manner. See that speaking is a deliberate activity. It's a voluntary activity. It is not like a listening. It's not like hearing. So you deliberately come and utters speech or speech sounds. While speaking in one-to-one conversation or to a group, volume, clarity, and variety through change in pace, volume, pitch, inflection, emphasis, and pauses are to be taken care of. So, when we speak to another person or to a group, certain things are very important. For example, the volume of the speech. നമ്മൾ സംസാരിക്കുന്ന സംസാരത്തിൻ്റെ വോളിയം, അതുപോലെ ക്ലാരിറ്റി ആൻഡ് വെറൈറ്റി, ഈ മൂന്ന് ഘടകങ്ങൾ, വോളിയം, clarity and variety. So volume, clarity and variety are created by changing pace, volume, pitch, inflection, emphasis and forces. സംസാര ശൈലിയിൽ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ സംസാരത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന ഘടകങ്ങളായ വോളിയം, പിച്ച്, ഇൻഫ്ലക്ഷൻ, എംഫസിസ്, പോസസ്, ഇതൊക്കെ വളരെയധികം ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ടതുണ്ട്. So already you have studied that these are some of the elements in speech. These are the elements in speech. നമ്മൾ സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ അറിയാതെ നമ്മൾ വ്യത്യാസപ്പെടുത്തുന്ന സംസാരത്തിലെ ഘടകങ്ങളാണ് വോളിയം, സ്പീച്ച്, ഇൻഫ്ലക്ഷൻ, emphasis and pauses. So when we speak, these things are to be taken care of. So when we usually speak in Malayalam, of course no problem at all, because we are the born speakers of that language. But when we speak in another language, for example in English, it is learned as a second language. So we should know very well how we are handling these elements in our speaking. So one must speak at a moderate pace, varying it to suit the purpose. Volume should suit the environment and the size of the audience. Pitch and inflection have to be taken care of. When speaking to a group, one has to pass on the information through modulating the vocal cord. One must learn to emphasize phrases and words to capture and retain the attention of the listeners. So what is volume? Volume is the content or the amount of speech delivered at a time, and it should suit to the environment and the size of the audience. So speaking is one of the major skills of communication in a language, and it is perhaps the most difficult to be acquired, as it enjoys minimum time duration for planning. 4 സ്പീക്കിംഗ് സ്കിൽസിനെ 4 ലാംഗ്വേജ് സ്കിൽസിനിടയിൽ ഏറ്റവും ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടേറിയ ഒരു ഭാഷാ സ്കില്ലാണ് സ്പീക്കിംഗ് സ്കിൽ. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് വൺ ഓഫ് ദ difficult skills to be acquired, and also this skill cannot be learned, it is to be acquired. So that is the problem with many of the people. Many of the people know English, but they are unable to speak in English. So the reason is that that person hasn't acquired English language, rather he learned it. നമ്മൾ ഒരു ഭാഷയിൽ സംസാരിക്കണമെങ്കിൽ ആ ഭാഷ പഠിച്ചാൽ മാത്രം പോരാ, അതിൻ്റെ സ്കില്ല്, പ്രത്യേകിച്ചും സംസാര സ്കില്ല് നമ്മൾ ആർജിച്ചെടുക്കണം. So that's why many of us are unable to speak in English. So it is to be acquired in the natural environment, not in an artificial environment. It should be acquired in a natural environment. We will now discuss certain factors to be kept in mind during the process of speaking. When we speak in English, we need to take care of certain things. Those things are noted here. ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഭാഷയിൽ സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ട ചില കാര്യങ്ങളെ പറ്റിയാണ് താഴെ പറയുന്നത്. The first important element is selection of vocabulary, then correct pronunciation, then accurate grammar, then nature of the receiver, facial expressions, voice modulation, body language, gestures and posture. Dear students, in this video we are going to tackle the unit 4 of the textbook language skills. So unit 4 is within module 3, and in the unit 4 we will tackle today lesson 1. This particular lesson is dealing with the speaking skill. It provides you certain strategies to develop your speaking skill. We know that speech is a vital component in any act of communication. It is an active element and often uses verbal and non-verbal skills to make it effective and meaningful. So it's a very important component of communication. Speaking is a very important component of communication. And also it is an active element and often uses verbal and non-verbal skills to make effective and meaningful communication. 4 ഭാഷാ സ്കില്ലുകളുള്ളതിൽ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു സ്കില്ലാണ് സ്പീക്കിംഗ് സ്കിൽ. We know that it comes as the second language skill. After listening come speaking, and it is a very natural skill. നമ്മൾ 4 ഭാഷാ സ്കില്ലുകൾ ഉള്ളപ്പോൾ അതിലെ ഒന്നാമത്തെയും രണ്ടാമത്തെയും, the first and second skills are called as natural language skills. Listening and speaking, they should be learned in a, or they should be acquired in a natural environment, not in an artificial environment. And this lesson provides you certain strategies for developing your speaking skill. Speaking is the process of producing meaningful symbols of sound for conveying or sharing the message, information, feeling, knowledge, etc. So it's a deliberate activity. Speaking is a deliberate activity. It's a voluntary activity. When you speak, it is you who initiates speaking. And if you don't want to speak, you will not speak. So that's why it is called as the deliberate activity. It's not a non-deliberate activity. It's not just like listening or hearing. നമുക്ക് ആവശ്യമുള്ളപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ തന്നെയാണ് സംസാരം തുടങ്ങുന്നത്. സോ അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് പറയുന്നത് സംസാരം ഒരു ഡെലിബറേറ്റ് ആക്ടിവിറ്റിയാണ്. So when we speak to a person or a group of people, certain things are very, very important. So speaking is the process of producing meaningful symbols of sound for conveying or sharing the message, information, feeling, knowledge, etc. So when you want to share a message, or you want to share an information, or when you want to share your feeling or knowledge, you use speaking as an important medium. As I have told you, it is one of the major skills of communication in a language, and it is perhaps the most difficult to be acquired, as it enjoys minimum time duration for planning. So as I have told you, it is a major skill. So when you learn a language, people ask you whether you can you speak in that particular language? Can you speak in Malayalam? Of course, we know Malayalam, we can speak Malayalam because it's our own language. And can you speak in Hindi? No, I cannot speak in Hindi, but I can write in Hindi because I haven't learned it in a natural environment. I learned it in school, so I'm not able to speak in Hindi. What about English? Yes, I can speak in English because I learned it at school, and also I acquired that skill, and I can speak that particular language to everybody. So if I find a person who knows only English, I can speak to him. So speaking English is very important. We have studied that, and learning speaking is the most difficult skill to be acquired. നമുക്ക് വെറുതെ ഒരു ഭാഷ സംസാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അത് ആർജിച്ചെടുക്കുന്ന ഒരു സ്കില്ലാണ്. കാണാതെ പഠിച്ചെടുക്കുന്നതല്ല, ആർജിച്ചെടുക്കുന്ന ഒരു സ്കില്ലാണ്. സംസാര കഴിവ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സംസാരിക്കാനുള്ള ശേഷി അത് ആർജിച്ചെടുക്കണം. And when you speak, you cannot consult a grammar textbook, or you cannot consult a dictionary. So you get only minimum time for speaking. ഒരാളടുത്ത് സംസാരിക്കണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരാൾ ചോദിച്ച ചോദ്യത്തിന് തിരിച്ചു മറുപടി പറയണമെങ്കിൽ ഒരു വെക്കാബുലറി തിരക്കി നമുക്ക് ഡിക്ഷണറി നോക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല, ഒരു ഗ്രാമർ ടെക്സ്റ്റ് കൺസൾട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. ഈ ഡെലിബറേറ്റ്ലി യു നീഡ് ടു സ്പീക്ക് വിത്തിൻ സെക്കൻഡ്സ്. See, when we speak into a person or a group of people, certain things are very important, certain factors in speaking. സംസാരത്തിനകത്ത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ഭാഷാ ശബ്ദങ്ങൾ നമ്മുടെ തൊണ്ടയിലൂടെ ഉച്ചരിച്ചാണല്ലോ നമ്മൾ സംസാരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അതിനകത്തുള്ള ചില ഘടകങ്ങളുണ്ട്. There are certain elements like volume, clarity, variety, which are created through pace, volume, pitch, inflection, emphasis and pauses. നമ്മുടെ സംസാരത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ പ്രകടിപ്പിക്കുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പ്രതിദാനം ചെയ്യുന്ന ആശയങ്ങൾ അത് പ്രധാനമായും അത് നമ്മുടെ സംസാരത്തിൻ്റെ വോളിയം, സംസാരത്തിൻ്റെ ക്ലാരിറ്റി, പിച്ച്, ഇൻഫ്ലക്ഷൻ ഇതൊക്കെ ഉപയോഗിച്ചായിരിക്കും. So there are certain factors to be taken care of when we speak. In the process of speaking, when you converse with another person or converse with a group of people, certain things are to be noted. They are the following. First is selection of vocabulary. Second is correct pronunciation. Third is accurate grammar. Then facial expressions, voice modulation, body language, gestures and posture. So these are the 8 categories, 8 elements that are very important when we speak to a person. The first is a selection of vocabulary. It is very important to select words which are simple, contextual, meaningful, and clear. So certain people have a habit of using very hard words, very difficult words that others cannot understand. No, it's not the way that we should choose the words when we speak. It is very important to select simple words. വളരെ ലളിതമായ വാക്കുകൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുക. Then words right for the context. See, every word is not right for the context. There are certain words that fit for the context. അവസരത്തിന് ഉതകുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ ഉപയോഗത്തിന് ഉതകുന്ന വാക്കുകൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുക. See, just like we use stones for different purpose, use the right stone for the right purpose, the proper word for the proper place. That we call as contextual. Situation പറ്റുന്ന വാക്കുകൾ, മികച്ച വാക്കുകൾ. Then meaningful and clear. The word should be full of meaning for the context, and also it should also be clear for the listeners to understand. Likewise, correct pronunciation. So correct pronunciation means there are certain elements like pitch, a volume, phase, intonation, such like. Those things are to be taken note of. So pronunciation, including all these things, pitch, stress, volume, intonation, voice modulation, pauses, these are all very important in the process of speaking. And what pronunciation you select should be suitable for the context, and it also should be standard one. ഉദാഹരണത്തിന് നമ്മൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന ഉച്ചാരണം, നമ്മളുടെ ഉച്ചാരണം അത് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഭാഷ ഉപയോഗിക്കുമ്പോഴുള്ള ഉച്ചാരണം സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ഉച്ചാരണമാകണം. ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് substandard. When others listen to our English, they should not feel that we are using some other language. നമ്മൾ മറ്റേതോ ഭാഷയിൽ സംസാരിക്കുന്നത് പോലെയല്ല, നമ്മൾ മലയാള ഭാഷയിൽ സംസാരിക്കുന്നത് പോലെയല്ല ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ സംസാരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ലാംഗ്വേജ് ഹാസ് സെർട്ടൻ characteristics. Its pronunciation is different from Malayalam pronunciation വ്യത്യസ്തമാണ്. So pronunciation include all these elements such like intonation. So ഒരു സെൻറ്റൻസ് നമ്മൾ ഉച്ചരിക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിനകത്ത് കയറ്റ ഇറക്കങ്ങൾ, intonation. So where did you go? It's not where did you go, it's where did you go. So that's the intonation. And then accent is there. All these elements together called as pronunciation is to be taken note of. And then is accurate grammar. Accurate and correct grammar is inevitable in communication, because the receiver may be mistaken, so that the whole idea may be conveyed. Vice versa, if wrong structure sentence is used. See, speaking is different from writing, and what all conventions we strictly follow in writing need not to be followed in speaking. But still then, you need to use correct grammar. എഴുത്തിലെ അതേ ഗ്രാമറല്ല നമ്മൾ സംസാരത്തിൽ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നത്. എഴുത്തിൻ്റെത് വളരെ കർക്കശമായ ഗ്രാമർ റൂളുകളുണ്ട്. അതെല്ലാം നമ്മൾ സംസാരത്തിൽ ഉപയോഗിക്കണമെന്നില്ല. എന്നാൽ തെറ്റിദ്ധരിപ്പിക്കപ്പെടുന്ന ഗ്രാമാറ്റിക്കൽ യൂസേജസ് ഒരിക്കലും സംസാരത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ പാടില്ല. If a wrong structure or wrong grammatical sentence, a wrong grammatical form is used, the intended meaning will not be conveyed. നമ്മൾ ശരിക്കും പറയുകയാണ്, I am going to a party. I am going to a party. What is its meaning? ഞാൻ ഒരു പാർട്ടിക്ക് പോകുന്നുണ്ട്. So I'm going to a party means now you are going for a party, or I'm going to go to a party tomorrow. I'm going to a party tomorrow. But ഇന്നലെ ഞാനൊരു പാർട്ടിക്ക് പോയി. Can you say I am going to a party? No. When you use it, I am going to a party, it's for the present tense or future tense, not for the past tense. Instead, you should say, I went to a party yesterday. And the other one is nature of the receiver. So when you speak to a group of people who are unable to follow your standard, you should come to the level of the receivers. നമ്മൾ സംസാരിക്കുന്ന വ്യക്തികൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വ്യക്തി നമ്മൾ ഉച്ചരിക്കുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന വാക്കുകൾ അപ്പടി മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ കഴിവുള്ള വ്യക്തിയല്ല എങ്കിൽ കുറച്ചും കൂടെ താഴേക്ക് വന്ന് ആ ശ്രോതാവിനെ മനസ്സിലാക്കിക്കൊണ്ട് സംസാരിക്കണം. So the words you select, the style you select for presentation or speaking should be based on the nature and the capacity of the receiver, his age level. For example, when you speak to a child, should speak to the child in a very low level that the child is able to grasp. When you speak to another person, an academician or a teacher in your college, you should speak into that level. Another important is facial expression. So as I have told you, speaking comprises of verbal and non-verbal expressions. Particularly the facial expression you have will communicate very clearly what you intend. ഉദാഹരണത്തിന് നമ്മൾ ഇന്നൊക്കെ മാസ്ക് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. We use mask. So part of our face is covered, hidden, and the listener cannot understand how our lips move or what's the facial expression we are having. So it will be difficult for others to understand. അതുപോലെ ഇതേ ഉദാഹരണം വെച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റും, നമുക്ക് സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ശരിക്കുള്ള അല്ലെങ്കിൽ തനതായ facial expressions should be used. We should be able to carry we should be able to show proper facial expressions so that our emotions, our feelings can be well expressed. There are certain strategies or ways for developing speaking skill for the students. The students can use certain strategies to develop their speaking skill, particularly in English. So we are going to look into that. First is creating confidence. When you're confident, you can handle language very smoothly and fluently. Next, create a positive attitude. Providing opportunity for self-expression. You can provide opportunity for yourself for self-expression. You can find new vocabulary. You should find new vocabulary, making new vocabulary, and search for correct use of pronunciation. There are certain activities that can develop speaking skill. We are going to look into that. You can deliver some short speeches. You can deliver some short speeches in English. So you can practice and improve your speaking skill. Other one is storytelling, katha parachal. When you tell a story, of course you improve your speaking skill. And other one is sharing your personal experience to a person or a group of people in English. And then very important is discussion, group discussion. Conduct a debate. A role play is another important activity you can improve your English speaking skill. And dramatization of a simple plot. For example, an experience in your real life, you can role play that and dramatize it. So it will improve your speaking skill. Another important activity, you can converse in English in pair. Two people together, they can speak or dramatize or visualize, speak in English. Conduct imaginary interviews. So another important activity is ask for repetition. For example, when you listen to somebody speaking and you cannot listen to them, you can say, I'm sorry, I don't understand it. നമ്മൾ ഒരാളുമായി ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് സംസാരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ മറ്റേ ആൾ പറയുന്നത് വ്യക്തമായി നമുക്ക് പിടികിട്ടുന്നില്ല എങ്കിൽ, മനസ്സിലാവുന്നില്ല എങ്കിൽ, നമുക്ക് അയാളോട് അയാൾ പറഞ്ഞ കാര്യം റിപ്പീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ ചോദിക്കാം. ഹൗ ഡു യു ആസ്ക് ഫോർ റിപ്പീറ്റിംഗ് ഇറ്റ്? You can say, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I'm sorry, I can't follow. Could you say it again, please? Could you explain again, please? Could you repeat the last part again? Other activity or other strategy you can use is asking for clarification. So when you do not understand something properly, you can ask the person for clarifying it. Could you please tell me the meaning of that word? Could you please tell me the meaning of the sentence once again? Could you repeat the instructions, steps, please? Can you help me, please? So these are some of the ways to improve your own speaking skill. The other one is making request. English is a language which is full of requests. ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൻ്റെ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഭാഷയുടെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേകത എന്നതാണ് അതിലൊരുപാട് റിക്വസ്റ്റുകൾ, പല തരത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് അപേക്ഷകൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റും, അപേക്ഷകൾ ചോദിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. So for example, you can ask the person, request a person, can we have a test? Shall we have a discussion? Shall we go there? Shall we have a lunch? Let's go there. So these kinds of requests can be made. Could you please give me some water? Can I have your bike? Can I talk to you? These are all some kind of requests. So other one is asking for feedback. So when you give a speech, when you perform the speech, after that you can ask for feedback. Other one is asking for permission. So may I come inside? May I go? May I go to toilet? May I be excused? Can I turn on the fan? Can I switch on it? Can I turn it off? Can I go? Can I come? These are all different kinds of requests you make. So that makes you very confident in English language. Other one is apologizing. English is a very polite language, and there, of course, you need to apologize whenever necessary situation arise. So for example, somebody do not understand what you say, you can say, sorry, pardon me, I will repeat it. I'm sorry, I don't understand. I'm sorry, I do not know the answer. When somebody asks you a question, you do not know the answer, you say I do not know. No, no, no. That's not the way. You say, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer. Pardon me, I'm sorry. Uh, these kinds of sentences can be used. So, dear students, in this video, we were discussing certain strategies that we can take in developing speaking skill in English. Hope that all of you understood it, and this video will be followed by the lesson 2 of unit 4, which is a public speaking session or a TED Talk speech session delivered by Steve Jobs. So we'll come you with that video. Until then, goodbye to all. Thank you everybody for watching this video. Hope that all of you understood it well. If you have any clarifications to be made, please come in the discussion session. So we'll come with another video. Until then, goodbye to all.